Hello everyone and welcome back to Winter 89 Colors. It's me and I'm back. And I am back with a special request. Somebody on one of my comments, I'm sorry I forget who you were. I have to go through all my comments to figure it out. However, I do remember very specifically. Sorry, coffee time. Whew. I do remember very specifically that somebody requested to see me color with some Prismacolors. So I have chosen this page out of Lulu Mayo's A Million Sea Creatures. I thought this would be a nice quick little page that I could do. I don't have to worry about the background or anything like that. I can use lots of sparkly glittery colors along with it. But I figured I could show some of the basic ways that I use my Prismacolors to get the effects that I get. I know there's hundreds of thousands of Prismacolor tutorials and color alongs out there, but I mean, everybody's a little different, right? So I guess here's the way that I would do it. So I guess we're gonna just kind of roll with this and see how it goes. So, oh goodness, I completely forgot. I wrote out these little cue card things so that I'd be able to show you what colors I was using, but I haven't like cut them up yet or anything. They're kind of just sitting here. And I don't want to sit here and cut them on camera for you. So I guess I'm kind of going to just wing it, and I'll try to tell you each time I'm using a different color. Because a lot of my technique is very fly by the seat of your pants. I kind of just go with what I'm feeling in the moment and hope for the best. So based on that, I guess we will just go and get started. Now, normally I would kind of start on all of these plants, the kelp, the corals and what have you, but I mean, do you like my nails? I just did them. They're a little messy, but here we are. Spooky season and what have you. So there we have it. Sorry, got distracted. Yeah, but I think we'll start in the main focus here and we'll do this little lobster friend and see how that goes. So I've got all my Prisma reds here. Yeah, I keep them in cups. Fight me. All right, I need my Tuscan Red PC 937. That's where I always start if I'm going to be doing reds. It's nice to have a nice dark red to begin with. So the easiest thing for me to start with is going to be this little tail here. So since there's already sort of like a guiding line that shows me the directionality of things, I'm just going to go in these little, here, let me zoom in. There we go. Adjust myself here, sorry. So I'm just doing short little strokes with medium pressure to give me that sort of fading out look. Make sure I'm still in camera here. Sorry about the shadows. Again, it's a really cloudy day. It's hard to get really good footage on days like this. I'm going to be turning the page as I need to because that's how I color. So we're going to just deal with it. Love you guys, but this is about me, okay? And I'm going to do the same on his little arms here. They're going to be a little darker because they're a smaller piece. So here I'm going to be going in like more circular motions with a little bit harder pressure down closer to the bottom. I assume there's less light coming from below, more from above. Generally, that's how a stage would be. Looks like he's singing on a stage there. Or maybe he's acting, I don't know. Whatever he's doing, he's on stage and he's living his best life, isn't he? Now, based on the way his little shell pieces are going, it looks like there's going to be a little bit of shadowing down here. So I'm going to start at the bottom here underneath, because this, see how this little shelf kind of goes out over top of the next one. So we want to give it the appearance that it's out further. So you want to put your shadowing underneath it. So I'm just starting with harder pressure at the top, not hard pressure, but you know, medium-ish, harder than you will be down below. And work your way down. And take your time with this. No rush. I know it's boring, but it sets the foundation for everything. Gonna do the same on all the next little shell pieces. Notice I'm focusing the color largely into the center of his body, because out near the edges is where the most light's probably going to be hitting, right? This piece is going to be a little different because it changes direction. So as I said, I'm assuming my light source is up here. So I'm making this underside a lot darker. Getting really light pressure and just layering, layering, layering. Now I can do the same on the underside of these, but I'm just going to use some light pressure, not going to go too heavy, just to add a little bit of extra shadowing. See, I'm just making this up as I go, just based on what I'm seeing. I didn't really have a plan coming in here, I'm going to be honest with you. Because that's not how I roll. If I think about it too much, I tend to get a little bit anxious. So it's easier for me to come in and just let my gut kind of guide me. There we go. So then same thing under here. We want to make this the darker spot because it's a little bit lower. I don't know what you guys want me to talk about. I don't know if you want me to talk or if you want me to just be silent. You can put on your own music. I'm not going to bother putting music in here because you guys are perfectly capable of picking your own and just muting me, or if I just don't talk at all, you can just leave the video playing and then you can hear if I have something to say. These big pieces are kind of hard because they're rounded out. Gotta kind of make them look like they're a bit shiny, you know? I'm like hop-bopping all over the place here. But that's okay. It's how I would in my head. It's how I would if I wasn't showing you guys. Said on my first few videos, you guys are, if you're here, you're gonna get me as I am, unapologetically, which is oh so very not Canadian of me, but here we are. I think that'll do for now. So next, let's see. Are we going to do either Crimson or Scarlet Lake? Let's do Crimson. Okay, so let's do PC, no, we've got to get in camera here, sorry. PC 924, Crimson Red for our next layer. So start in the same place I started before, using the same technique that I had before. Yes, we are, because our lobster is singing, so we are also singing. Anyway, sorry. All right, so I'm going over the dark spots and just dragging all the pigment out towards the tip of the tail, because that's where all the light's hitting. Woot woot. Again, using my more circular motions on here to blend it all together. And Prisma's blend is so lovely. Even though like I didn't make these lines and blends perfect with the darker color, my Tuscan red, shall I say, pulling the scarlet over top just really helps to add to the blend. You'll see I'm purposely leaving a little bit of white space right here just to kind of help add to that shine. Not too much, just a tiny little bit. Man, that shows up actually way better on camera than it does in real life. Cool. Just gonna keep doing this, and basically I'm just going over all the spots that I've already done with dark and just extending them ever so slightly out. I'm a really simple person when it comes to my Prismas. I don't feel the need to do 1,000 different layers of color. I find that just a couple is generally more than enough to get the coverage and the layering you're looking for. Probably gonna have to do some work on this area up here. Something about it is just coming out a little plain, but at least we'll get a base layer down. Again, making sure I'm leaving a little white space at the top. moving on to these big old claws. See, it's all coming together. You get that second color on there. Really changes the dimensions, eh? I'm using almost no pressure. Like, I'm just letting the pencil do the work. It's a nice thing about Prismas. They do a lot of the work for you. There we go. So there's that. I think what we're gonna do is add just a little bit of pink, something soft. What about just like some deco pink, I think. Just a really soft. Where are you? There we are. Sorry. Focus. There we go. So 1014 deco pink. Sorry, I know that didn't really focus. Oh well, we deal. And I'm gonna do exactly the same thing again. Just go over. Again, super light. I don't want this pink to be the focus. I just want it to be another added little layer. And that'll probably be my last layer before I blend everything. Again, I don't really care that much. I'm not going into any of those really dark areas. I'm just going over the really light ones. Hope my face isn't in frame here. Okay, good. Sorry, you guys. I'm like awful at this filming thing. It's brand new to me. The fact I've got as many videos out as I do is a miracle, to be honest with you. But I feel like every layer I add here with the Prismas, it just smooths everything out. So clean. I'm not even trying here. Look at this. I'm just messily throwing my pink, my deco pink, over top of everything. There. Okay. So in here now comes my little cheater sticks, as I like to call it, my colorless blender. I like to start with the lightest color first and work my way back to the darkest. That way we get true color. If we start at the darkest, it tends to muddle all the other colors. I kind of clean it off a little bit sometimes in between, just to help keep the colors from mixing too much. I mean, obviously we want them to blend, but we don't want them to get so mixed that there's no definition between where one ends and the other begins. All right, so we've got the tail done. Let's move back onto the body. So we'll start in the center. Notice how I use my finger to kind of block the pencil from going any further than I want it to. Never seen anyone else do that, but I do it all the time. I don't want it to go onto this little the microphone stand here, so I put my finger there, and it just kind of forces the pencil to stay where I want it. You can hear it clicking against my nail. Oh, that highlight came out really nice. I'm using like a medium to hard pressure. Not so hard that I'm hurting my hand, but enough that it really messes that color around. Now on the body, on this piece of the shell, you can see I went in the opposite direction as I said, and that's because I knew I didn't put a ton of color down here. So I actually wanted to bring more of the color up from the bottom into the lighter areas. So you gotta be a little bit strategic when you're blending as to whether you want more or less color dragged around the page. And now you can see there's a lot of highlight at the top here where the where the spotlight's shining on his face, and you can see there's a little bit of shadowing underneath. Looks pretty good, huh? Oh, I didn't say A that time. Ah! What am I, a noob? Do I even live in Canada? Yeah, but I find that by using the blender pencil also, I go through a lot less Prismacolors. The blender pencils are a little cheaper, especially if you buy them in bulk like I do. I get them on Amazon in packs of like 12 or 24. And because they're a little less waxy, they don't wear down as quickly. Whereas the Prismas, if you have to use them to blend each other, they tend to really wear down very fast. Because in order to get that pigment burnished, you've got to add a lot of it. And there we go. There's our little lobster. Now he's got these little antennas. It looks like he's wearing little hats on top of his antennas. How cute. For that, I'm going to go back in with my Tuscan red. And I'm going to use Jelly Roll Glaze in black to do these little hats. I'm going to assume they're hats. Maybe they're not. To me, they are. And I'm also going to do his little eyes here. Add a little dimension. There we go. So there's our little lobster. He's looking pretty snazzy now with all of his little, you know, with all that nice shading. It looks like he's ready to go. If you guys want to see more on this page, I can definitely do that for you. If you want to keep me, you know, have me keep going in Prismacolor, I can do that, or I can do it in Albert Dure's, Crayolas. You know, we can find something else to work in. So just let me know what you think about this. Give me a like and subscribe. And any other comments that you want to say. It's really nice to have you guys on the channel with me, so please stick to it and keep on coloring. Bye.